Happy Pink Friday, Much Music. I'm Sadé, and today we're going to be looking at the highlights from Pink Friday 2, Nicki Minaj's 5th studio album, and the sequel to her 2010 triple platinum debut album, Pink Friday. As you can see, I'm fresh off the plane from Gag City, dressed in all pink. I don't know if you guys checked out the AI-generated Gag City towns that everyone was creating leading up to the album drop, but Much Music even has its own concert arena in Gag City, so be sure to check that out when you guys visit. Now let's get into it. Let's take a look at the track list. So on this album, we have J. Cole, Lil Wayne, Drake, we have Skillabang, Skeng, Lil Uzi Vert, Lourdes, Tate Kobang, and Tasha Cobbs Leonard, and we also have Future. If you don't know Tasha Cobbs Leonard, she's actually a gospel singer and songwriter, and she's actually worked with Nicki before on the song I'm Getting Ready. Lourdes is a Texas lyricist who's written for people like Anita and Sway Lee. So these are two artists I wasn't personally familiar with, but they are the only two women that are featured on the album. I did want to see some other rap heavy hitter women on this project, but we did get J. Cole, we did get Lil Wayne, we did get Drake, and I feel like Drake and Lil Wayne weren't a surprise. J. Cole, I was not expecting, but it does look like J. Cole is doing a lot of features this year, and it might mean a big 2024 for him. Skillabang and Skeng appear on Forward Trini, and as a Caribbean girl myself, I love that there was a dancehall aspect to this. We also have Drake on Needle, and that kind of gave the Afro beats vibe. Future was on Nicki Hendrix, and as you know, or as any Future listener knows, that Future refers to himself as Future Hendrix, so I love that she kind of played on that, and that's a reference to guitarist Jimi Hendrix. We also have Tate Kobang, who appears on R&B with Lil Wayne, and he's also credited as a producer and writer on several songs on the project. A lot of people were surprised by Lil Uzi Vert, but I think it made sense as Uzi dropped an album Pink Tape earlier this year, so the pink theme kind of fits. Now let's get into some standout samples on the project, because there were a lot. Off rip, we have a sample from my girl Billie Eilish and her 2018 song When the Party's Over, which was produced by her brother Phineas in the opening track Are You Gone Already? I think most people are talking about Pink Friday Girls, which samples Girls Just Wanna Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper, and I think this is one of the standout pop tracks on the project. I was also pleasantly surprised to hear Travis Scott on Pink Birthday, and this is a sample from his song Pornography, and you can hear his kind of voice moaning in the beginning, and it goes out throughout the entire song. We also have a sample from Biggie Smalls and Bone Thugs and Harmony from the song Notorious Thugs on her song Barbie's Dangerous. And honestly, I can go on with the list of samples. I mean, we have the Rick James sample on Super Freaky Girl, which was the single that came out before the album dropped. And then obviously we have Lumidee's Never Leave You on Red Ruby to Sleaze, which also dropped earlier this year. Nicki Minaj is one of those artists that does sampling really well, and she's able to pick samples and songs that match her flow really well. But I do get tired of the tendency for artists to use nostalgia to lean on for songs or like their tracks. So I would have loved to see something a little bit different and some original production, but I do know that Nicki Minaj is one of those artists who does it really, really well. Now, I don't know if you guys are thirsty, but I'm ready for some tea. So let's look at some of the sneak disses that Nicki played on this album. So I caught some name drops, some subs, and I made sure to play those ones back, but let's take a look at the ones that really stood out. On Falling For You, Nicki says, "Picture you not listening when I said you would dread that. I mean Lotto, use a chop hoe." Now listening to it over, I immediately think Chapo, like chop ho, like Chapo, like El Chapo, because Lotto starts with an L, and that refers to maybe the Mexican drug lord. I don't think that has anything to do with it, but I noticed it, and I think maybe there's a play on something there. I don't know. You guys let me know. And here, Nicki Minaj calls out rapper Lotto, and the two had some open beef on Twitter last year, so I'm really not surprised that she called her out. Moving on to FTCU, where Nicki Minaj name drops Tory Lanez and Iggy Azalea. Here she says the line, "Stay in your Tory lane, bitch, I'm not Iggy." Here she references the case between Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, where Megan Thee Stallion accuses Tory of shooting her in the foot in 2020. And during the trial, Iggy Azalea wrote a letter that defended Tory Lanez's character. Now, I've heard several theories here on whether she's dissing Tory Lanez, she's dissing Meg Thee Stallion, she's dissing Iggy Azalea, but she could also just be making a reference and a play on the situation. What are your thoughts? I'm really not sure, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Pink Friday 2 feels like a culmination of everything that Nicki Minaj is capable of, and though it's kind of long at 22 songs, I think it's a solid album. She shows some vulnerability on Just the Memories, Blessings, and Are You Gone Already, where she addresses the death of her father in 2021. And then we have a great batch of pop songs like Super Freaky Girl, Red Ruby the Sleaze, and Pink Friday Girls, and more. At first listen, my favorite songs are Falling For You, R&B, and Bam Bam. Does this album surpass Pink Friday? Absolutely not. Not in my opinion, but I do think it was still a very fun album to listen to. There wasn't a second where I was bored. It really showed her versatility. It showed you why she's still the queen of rap and why she's still one of the masters of play on words, double entendres, and lyricism, and even good at vocals. I really don't think she has a lot of weak points. Again, I would have really liked to see some more female rappers on this project or even singers that we kind of know and love, but I also would have loved to hear Roman on this project. Hopefully she does something within her Roman character soon. But what did you guys think of the album? I'll continue to listen and see if it grows on me, but let me know what you guys think, your favorite songs. Comment, like, subscribe if you like this content, and we'll see you in the next video. Much.